Yeah, they took my rims too. Yeah, we found everything. We put that on there, and it taught me a lot about family and how important they are.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to Loc'd Pop Talks. My name is Tyree. I am your host for today, and I wanted to bring you guys a small interview I had with a special guest I had in mind to bring on for a long time. Haven't really had too much free time as far as bringing them on, but we connected. It was time to make it happen, and we did the best that we could at the time. So I'm hoping I can have this person on the show in a more live setting. But today we had to do a small recording. But either way, I wanted to get this episode out. I think it's really important, not only for the listeners, but for men who are willing to do whatever it takes through the journeys and the afflictions that may be placed in our pathways and in our journeys, but how we can still be used by God, and how things can be turned in such a way to benefit us in the long run. So today's episode, I wanted to feature you guys my younger brother, Terrance Wilson. Now, you guys may know Terrance Wilson, maybe you don't know Terrance Wilson. For those of you who don't know him, like I said, he is my younger brother. He is a businessman. He is in a great relationship. He is also a man of God. He's a man of integrity and intelligence. And yes, my opinion is a bit biased, but I don't care. So if you guys would do me the honor of checking out this episode, we really take this time to hear the questions that I asked my brother. They are pre-questions that are pre-recorded, and I presented to him, and he recorded his answers and gave them back to me, so you'll see them or hear them in sequence. That way you get to understand just like what is it that, you know, our own parents taught us, or what life has taught us. Between my brother and I, even my other brothers, there are things that have made us into the men that we are today. And I think it really attributes to the point that no matter what it is that we go through, being you, being who God created you to be, is the best possible choice that you can make. It's the best possible way for you to live, the best possible way that, you know, you can continue to reach higher levels than what you are today. So again, today's a special episode. I want to do a video. I will also do an audio of this episode, and so I bring you guys for the first time on the show, and hopefully not the last time, my younger brother, Terrance Wilson. Okay, the first set of questions is for the Loc'd Pop Talks podcast. So I want to ask, what are 10 of the things you've learned, top 10 things you've learned about being a man in a relationship, about being a man in your own life and your own personal development?
Okay, so 10 things that I've learned about being a man here in today's society. Again, these are not in any particular order. Um, Number 10 is that men are forged for battle. Um, this is not just physical, but I also feel that it's spiritual and emotional. Um, Number 9 is that it's okay to show when you're weak, and that too can show strength. 8 is make a plan. Sure respects you and your ability to lead. So you gotta have plans. 7 is being open to suggestion and her advice. She's probably smarter than you. Listening is an underappreciated superpower. Number 5 is compassion should be taught at a young age and laced with patience and understanding. 4 is toxic masculinity is a mind blocker to discovery. 3, you never have to carry the world on your shoulders. 2, honoring your family and building your legacy are very important jobs. And 1, love to love. Express it, sing it, paint it.
All right, and my next question to you is, at what stage or what point of your life, if you don't mind being real with the with the audience and taking them to that place in your heart and in your head where you felt like you were the most changed man? What point of your life did you feel like you had changed who you are or evolved into what you've become?
All right. So the next one there, I'm not sure if it was a specific moment, but I believe it was several moments throughout life, all at different stages, that forged me almost like a sword in fire being hit by a hammer. Um, One of those being my earliest is um, high school with a company called Youth for Understanding, where I was able to travel to Japan. Um, One of the biggest things for that is that I was working very, very hard to make this dream a reality. Like, I always wanted to go to Japan. I thought that was like my dream, to experience high school there. And I had a teacher. Well, she was never a teacher, but she was a good friend of mine, Deline Goody, and we would talk about Japanese culture and history all the time. And she told me about this program, Youth for Understanding, and with that, I had to write like maybe 13 essays on why I liked the opportunity to go, what did I hope to achieve, and things like that. And I was accepted into it. However, they still needed about $6,000 for me to go. And back then, I was working at Old Country Buffet, and there was like no way I could afford that. But I worked really, really hard. I saved every tip that I got, um, and I still only got maybe halfway there. So there was just no way I could do that. So I pretty much gave up on that dream, and I met with Miss Goody, and she told me, like, we know that you've been working really hard, and I went and talked to every faculty member, and we got the money for you. And she gave me an envelope with everything that I needed, and that showed me um, understanding. It showed me love. It showed me community, and that is one of the things that really stuck with me. Another one is my time with Market America. It is a online business franchise, um, all about online shopping and development. And I love the business. I love everything about it. And some of the things that I really took from that experience there was drive. Um, because the founder of that, J.R. Ridinger, he had so much drive for where he wanted that business to go. He brought it from literally nothing, family-owned business, and now is a multi-billion-dollar business. And also passion, because when he spoke, he's so passionate about helping people and getting them from poverty into a place of dreams and also having dreams. I really took from that you can make any dream possible if you're willing to work hard enough for that. Another is after a long relationship. I don't want to drop names, but it was a very, very long relationship that I was in. That she cheated on me multiple times. Um, I lost the best job that I ever had, that I loved, that I can't go back to uh, because of her. And after that, I was just done, dude. Like, I gave up on that house, and I couldn't live in that house anymore. So I was actually legit homeless for a long time. Well, not a long time. I wouldn't say that. It was like maybe a month that I was living in my car. I would go to work. I would go to the gym to shower because I still had my membership, and then I would, hang out at a friend's house and then sleep in my car. I had everything in my car, and that I did that for a while, and I was miserable. I didn't know where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, if I could do anything. Um, I didn't want to go back home because it felt like shameful. I didn't want to ask for help. Being a man, you take care of your business, and I didn't want to do that. Which at this point I realized was really dumb. Um, but I was at a friend's house. We were gonna go look at apartments the next day. She picked me up. She said, "No, you're not sleeping in your car. You're gonna sleep with me tonight and just hang out at the house, and then we'll go look at apartments. I'll drive you around." I was like, "All right, cool, we'll do that." Then the next morning, I was robbed. So everything in my car, including my wheels, was gone. Like, ridiculous. So funny. Well, it's funny now. It wasn't funny back then. And I literally just laughed about it. Because I'm like, what did I do wrong? you know? Um, but, my mom, she came, she helped me out. My dad got my car going again. We found some tires to put on it. They took my rims too. Yeah, we found everything. We put that on there, and it taught me a lot about family and how important they are, and also preservation. That no matter what happens, I'm never putting myself in a situation like that again where I couldn't do anything. I'm double checking myself, triple checking, always having a plan going. And that was another thing that really built on who I am today. Last thing is a little bit less said is my discovery of Dungeons and Dragons. I was online and a friend told me about this thing called Critical Role, which is a online show every Thursday run by Matthew Mercer, a voice actor, where they sit around and they play this nerdy game. So I was watching a quick video on that. It was called D and Diesel. So it was Matt Mercer, and he was running a Dungeons and Dragons game for Vin Diesel and Travis Willingham, Laura Bailey, a couple other people. All really good voice actors. Definitely check them out. And the story that he wove and the way everybody was really excited about it, I caught on to that really fast, and I loved it. And I was like, I can do that. I want to do that. So I, started playing D&D, and I learned how to do it. And I'm like, you know what? I want to be the guy on the other side of that chair, that weaves the stories. And I did that for a long time. And through that, it taught me creativity, leadership, determination, and also, oddly enough, consent. Because when it comes to these stories, they can be very emotionally investing. And you have to know where you can push people emotionally to really get them into that feeling where it's not just a character, but it's actually the person that's in trouble, or the person that feels the scenario that you're in. And you have to be upfront with what is happening, and is this okay? Is it okay if I bring up this scenario? Is it okay if I push you to that area? Am I doing too much? Do I need to bring it back a little? These are really important questions to ask people at the D&D table, but also in general in life. And I think that's another thing that really helped me out in building me who I am today.
All right, and so my next question is, what has been the most hopeful ethics or methods of living that you personally follow that has brought you success, that has brought you happiness in your life and in your relationship? And do you recommend other men using those methods and ethics that you have?
So, what ethics that has helped me in my success? In pagan tradition, compassion as men is taught at a young age. It is an important aspect of heritage, which defines as to suffer with. I believe that is what the definition is for that. It also defines as being having a sympathetic consciousness to others' distress, and suffering together with them, with a desire to alleviate it. It impels us to work tirelessly to alleviate ourselves from the suffering of fellow creatures, and to dethrone ourselves from our own world. I think that's really strong, because oftentimes even in like men's aspect, they feel like they are the pinnacle of human creation, where you are above vermin, you're above children, you're above women, and I think that's very, very toxic. So I really like these traditions, treating everybody without exception with the absolute justice, equality, and respect. Um, I can't be the judge of others, so I can't tell anybody else to follow me on that. But my hopes are that you hear my words and feel inspired enough to adopt at least some of those ideas.
And so the next one, right? Bear with me. How has the world for men changed since you were growing up as a teenager? From your teenage life into your manhood, how much has life changed, maybe based off of social media, or just lifestyle in general?
Well, how much life has changed for men as compared to when I grew up to now? I believe that men today are becoming a little bit more aware of misogyny and feminism than before, and much more conscious about the suffering women face in this society.
You guys, that was Terrance Wilson again. Terrance, thank you for sending in your answers to the questions. It's always good to hear from another man about what it is that he's doing. How does he navigate the world that he's in through the journey that God has set him on? How to move with confidence and assurance regardless of the situation and the afflictions and the bumps in the road, if you will, that men face. And it isn't about, because he's a black man or because he's a man. These are things that people in general go through. These are things that a husband, wife, fiancés, boyfriends, girlfriends, this is what they go through. And so if life has gotten tough, if life has gotten hard, if things are not turning out the way that they should for you, give it time. Give it time. Understand that things do happen, but that doesn't mean that's the end of your story. It's not the end of your story. It's just a bump in the road. It's just a comma in your sentence. The significance of your life, the significance of what you do, comes from what you're willing to do about your situation and your ability to endure what comes your way. And sometimes it knocks us down, but it's important not to stay down. I want to leave you with that. It's important. Don't stay down, regardless of what it is. So, again, thank you, Terrance, for helping me out with today's podcast. I want to send you guys this information. If you want to, you can find Terrance on YouTube and his podcast for Dungeon Masters and Dungeon Master Conversations, where they talk about strategies, they talk about world building, how to run a game, how to be a dungeon master, how to join a community. It's about, I think he has anywhere between 2 to 6 guests on his show. So if you want to check him out, you can find him on YouTube. His information is here at DM, capital D, capital M, Table Talk. And you'll find his YouTube channel. Again, it's on youtube.com at DM, capital D, capital M, Table Talk. All right, you guys, if you have anyone else that you would like for me to bring onto the show or interview, be sure to send a name down in the comment section. If not, just shoot me a DM, an inbox, and I'll reach out to them, see if we can add them on here, because I want to bring somebody on here that you guys are willing and looking to hear from. All right, thank you for being here, and I'll check you guys out next time.